Hey, hi everyone, this is Vinisha, and this video is part 2 of using the gateway basic authentication. So in this video, we are going to deploy an API and try to invoke the API using the basic authentication on the gateway. So uh, let's get started. So this is a sample API service and listener process, which I have deployed in my gateway. And this is the backend runtime of my gateway. So firstly, to be able to use the like API components, you'll have to set the API type to advanced. And in the authentication type, we have to select the gateway since we'll be controlling the authentication at the gateway level. So these settings have to be updated in the shared web server of your backend runtime, which is attached to your gateway. So I have already deployed the APIs. So let's try to invoke this API and test it. So this is my API component name, Customer Data 2024 API. So this is my APIM service. My gateway is the gateway which I am using. So the API is already deployed here if you observe. So in the previous video, we have created a basic authentication source. So we'll have to update that authentication mechanism here from API control to basic auth. We'll do that in a minute. Before that, before we try to invoke an API, there are a couple of steps which need to be performed. So we'll have to create a plan and an application and try to subscribe to that application. So let's do that. So here it is incomplete, right? So let's try to create a plan. So I'll create a plan from the scratch. So you'll have to go under configure server plans. So let's create a simple plan. Let's say my 2024 API plan. And you can set the rate limit and the quota limit, like how many calls you want to make per minute. So those settings you can do it here. So I'll let the defaults be there and click on save. So this is now done. So let's go back to our API. So we'll go here, APIs by gateway, customer data. So let's try to select the plan over here. So my 2024 plan, add to deploy API, and click on save. So this is now done. So let's try to change the authentication from API control to basic auth. Let's try to click there and select the authentication provider. So we'll have to choose the basic auth, which we created in previous video, my basic auth 2024. So you can add the restrictions if you want, but I'll let it be as default. Click on save. So my API is now configured and I have a plan here. So later on, I'll have to create an application. So to be able to grant the subscription, you'll have to create an application first. So here, we'll click on create application. You'll select the gateway, which is my gateway. And let's give this an API name, my new API 2024 or customer API 2024. You can give you'll have to give the application name here and an email. So once this is done, click on save. So this is now done, customer API 2024. So this is the one. So you'll have to add your subscription here. You'll have to subscribe to your API from here. So customer data 2024 API. So let's click on that. And next, select the plan. Next. And here you can set up the range for the subscription, like when you want to enable it. So I'll enable it right away. So we'll get an API key here. So we'll need to copy this key and use it for later on. Let me So let's, I'll be using the Postman tool and try to test this API now. So firstly, we'll have to fetch the resource path, the endpoint path basically. So I'll click on copy. And this is a post call which I'm doing. So we'll be using the basic auth. So remember in part 1, we have created a user in the basic authentication source named Adam. So I have added the username and password here in Postman, and in the headers, we'll have to pass the X API key. So we can get the X API key from this screen. So from the subscriptions page, we can fetch the API key and we'll paste it here. So so to be able to invoke the API using the basic auth, you will need to pass the basic authentication along with the X API key header. So this is now done. Let's try to click on send. So there you go. You see a 200 OK response. I hope this information helps and thank you for watching.